Hi, I'm Kevin Galetz, and I'm a program facilitator with the Regina District Industry Education Council working in Sunwest School Division. And I'm happy to introduce to you today Jonathan Hannay, graduate of Rosetown Central High School, and now he's a combine product specialist working for John Deere. So I will turn it over to John. Thanks for doing this today.
Awesome. Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me. So I think we'll get right into the presentation here this morning, everybody. So as Kevin said, I'm a product specialist for John Deere. So I am based out of, I guess my team and my management group is based out of Moline, Illinois at our combine factory. But I am a product specialist for combines covering Western Canada. So, kind of the main aspect of my role, my day to day, what my responsibilities look like is I'm in charge of bringing new products to market. So, as John Deere creates a new product, specifically something related to harvest, I would grab that product about a year before it's launched to public, create the marketing materials, the training materials, and then really help to bring that product to market. So, how are we training our sales staff at our local John Deere dealerships? How are we showcasing this product to customers? How are we making sure that this product is living up to the expectations that we have at John Deere and that our customers have with the ultimate goal of them purchasing? So, that transition of grabbing it from an engineering team, bringing the product to market, and then understanding and watching and supporting that product in market as it's launched is probably 80% of what my job focuses around. There are aspects of that as training. Thinking back to, my days in high school, who'd have thought that I would be a teacher, being that, wasn't always the best student, but, a lot of my job now is teaching our dealers how to use the equipment, teaching our customers how this will benefit their operation. There's a lot of in-field optimization and problem solving. So going out to those farmers that are using this piece of equipment, maybe understanding their current operation, what equipment they're running now, and then really optimizing this piece of machinery to make sure that it's performing successfully, and then taking that and really showing them the next level of what this operation. And then, like I say, showcasing the latest products and technology from John Deere is kind of, in a nutshell, essentially what my day-to-day responsibilities are. So when we look at the skills required or the personality traits required for my type of role, a big part of that is people and communication skills. I work on my own a lot, being that my management group and my team are in another country. So a lot of my work, falls on my own shoulders. So accountability and time management is essential in this role. Communication skills are very important because oftentimes I'll walk into, situations where customers I've never met. I have to strike up some commonalities, a relationship with them, gain credibility in my experience in my role to then showcase to them the products that I want to show them. Strong work ethic, self-motivation is a big part of this position, being that I'm not, in the same country as my manager. So day-to-day expectations of my role truly fall on my own shoulders. I don't have, a lot of guidance. I am essentially giving a series of outcomes that I'm supposed to hit throughout the season, and it's up to me to hit those outcomes. Problem solving and the ability to work under pressure. I feel like that's something that can be applied in every situation. But specifically for this role, there's a lot of circumstances where the answers aren't always provided, and you have to work through those high pressure situations and create the answers or figure out the answers on your own. Public speaking and a mechanical background also help to, I guess, further me in this position. Same thing with personality traits required. I would say very similar to the skills. Outgoing with confidence in your own abilities. That is a big portion, being that, like I said, my management is in a different country. So I am looked to on my own to create my own drive, my own goals, my own how-to finish or to be successful in this role. Be not afraid to have the hard conversations and collaborate with our other partners. Willingness to go above and beyond during our busy season. So my job is very based off of the farmer's busy season. And then open to travel to different work environments. This role we'll touch on here in a little bit has given me some pretty cool opportunities to travel across the world for the combine business for John Deere. Excuse me, and just being open to adapt to these different situations is something that has furthered me in this role. So here's kind of a map that illustrates also the highlighted green area here in the top left corner is my territory. So that's my division or area of responsibility, as they call it, what I look after. So Western Canadian combine business is my bread and butter. Obviously, I live right on the blue dot there in Saskatoon, so I work out of my home office where I'm calling you guys from today. And then my head office is down on the red pin circled there at the bottom. So that's actually where my team and my manager sits. That is in Moline, Illinois, where our head office and combine factory is for John Deere. I do have an office space down there, and I travel down to that office space probably 3 to 4 times a year, with the majority of my time being spent on territory in Canada. Here are some cool pictures and illustrations to kind of walk through, what my day-to-day or what the cool parts of my job are. So you can see that by the video in the middle, we are in Enid, Oklahoma, combining some winter wheat for them. So that's early late May, start of June is the time frame on which we're down there combining. So I got to spend a month in Texas and Oklahoma this spring, supporting our new combine features. The top left picture is one of the first X9s we'd sold in Canada, actually. So we did a customer presentation and a customer day, thanking them for their business. Another cool opportunity you'll see on the 2 right-hand pictures there are my time spent in Brazil this spring. So actually I got to go down, we just launched our new combine, the X9 in Brazil in February. So I spent a month and a half in Brazil supporting our combine efforts down there. So leading customer clinics in the bottom right-hand picture, teaching internal field staff in the top right-hand picture. Cool opportunities that this job has taken me to. So that leads directly into rewards of my occupation. I'm super thankful for the opportunities of world travel. I've spent lots amount of time in pretty much all aspects of agriculture in North America, with a month spent down in Brazil. I currently have a co-worker who's in Australia right now. Our team recently just took on the expansion of being global marketing now for John Deere combines. So there'll be opportunities to travel to Europe in the near future. So, that ties directly into just a diverse agriculture exposure. Cool thing about this job is nothing's ever the same. I get to experience agriculture in multiple places across the world. So agriculture is completely different in Saskatchewan, let alone when looking at that from globally. So just to be able to experience different types of agriculture and different farms is something that, has been really, really cool about this position. Network building and professional development. This is something that, truly I feel like doesn't get enough weight. Networking is something that is important in every industry. Doesn't matter if you're in healthcare or agriculture or anything in between. Having a good network of people and connections surrounding you is something that's truly what I feel like is going to carry you far in your career. So just the availability to work on that is something I'm thankful for. And, obviously, day to day, having a company vehicle and competitive work benefits is something that's really nice as well. Challenges of my occupation. It's a lot of time away from home, long hours. Like I said, typically my job, we follow a busy season that's determined by our farmers or by the ag industry. So with that, it comes a busy season of, I would say, early July till end of October. It's pretty much just go as hard as you can. There's lots of long hours, lots of big days and miles driven. Part of the job. High pressure and stressful situations. A lot of the times, you're out in the field on your own, working through, challenges of an upset customer, a high pressure sales situation. There's a lot of money on the line for some of these situations. So being able to be confident in my abilities to have those tough conversations and handle those stressful situations are something that's definitely a challenge. And then I think a big part of this too is self-learning and trial and error. Not always are we going to be given, all the answers. I think a challenge of this is working through some of those product challenges where we don't have the answers, but they take time to find us either a solution or a resolution to those problems. So definitely some of the challenges of this position. Salary and benefits. My salary range is completely dependent on experience and education, but John Deere is extremely competitive for the work environment. It's really nice. This position allows me full health and dental benefits, a pension match program, which doesn't seem like much for sure for a high school student, but the older you get, the more you start to realize that those things do make a difference. Company stock purchase plans, standard holiday time, and then variable work hours. So like I said, my busy season completely follows a farmer's farming cycle. So, right now, winter time during the off season, I get an opportunity to recoup some of those overtime hours that I put in during the busy season. Educational requirements for a position like mine. So I have a high school diploma, as Kevin said, graduated from RCHS. I do have a Bachelor of Science in my agribusiness obtained from the University of Saskatchewan. So an undergraduate degree is something the company does look for. Certifications or extra training. I truly just feel like being my interests and my background growing up. So growing up on a farm, gave me that mechanical knowledge, equipment operating experience, and then just having the background in agriculture is something that helped me really specialize and take this job to the next level. So giving you guys a little bit of, an inside look at my journey. So I kind of like to walk through this journey in a way to try and paint the picture that, you don't always need the best education or the best grades or anything to truly get what you're looking for. Persistence and your networking can carry you, I think, just as far as education can. So, that's really being conscious of not burning a bridge and being personable can really help take you to the next level. So I graduated from RCHS, attended the University of Saskatchewan for agriculture going into that program, but I knew that I was passionate about agriculture and that's where I wanted to spend my time. I actually, randomly attended a job career fair that John Deere was hosting at the U of S. It was a random Tuesday in November, and I went to a seminar. And at that seminar, I seen something that I'd like. So I made a connection actually with another local RCHS graduate who was working a similar job with John Deere at the time, created a relationship or established a connection with him. And then through them, I got introduced to the current hiring manager at the time. I was persistent enough during the time John Deere was on a hiring freeze. So I was persistent enough and convincing enough to convince them to give me a job interview. At that time, after the interview process, I was actually offered a job. So at that time, they said, you can have a job in either Yorkton, Saskatchewan or Edmonton, Alberta. So being from Rosetown, those are both 5 hours away. It was kind of a big decision point in my life on, okay, here we go. I'm finished university. It's time to go take a job. So I decided to move to Edmonton, where I was unspecialized as a product specialist. So I covered all of northern Alberta as a John Deere rep, if you will. So I covered everything from, tractors, sprayers, balers, air seeders, combines, excuse me, you name it. So I did that for a smaller area. I covered all of northern Alberta, and worked with our dealers and customers across northern Alberta. Lots of travel, lots of time spent in the field during those years. That is when we brought our new combine, the X9, to launch. So we did that aspect. So I love combines, love equipment. So I took a heavy interest and focus into that combine business. 2.5 years being in that role, I got a different opportunity for the Western Canadian Combine Specialist, which is what I am today. So I interviewed for that position, was accepted, moved back to Saskatoon, where I currently reside. So back home, which is nice. Since then, I've just tried to really, really get specialized in my work and take it to the next level. And it's provided me cool opportunities, like having different duties where I've assisted in launching combines across border in the US and Brazil. Excuse me. And, I try to really continue to be an expert in my field with the ultimate goal of increasing John Deere sales. When you look at opportunities, I feel like, truly opportunities are endless once you get out into the marketplace. I think it's really important to not be scared to try different things and to experience different things, to first understand, what you want to do, but then to really start to see the different opportunities that are out there. So opportunities within Deere, I'm consistently expanding my network. The agriculture industry is very small. You can usually make a connection with somebody, which is pretty cool. There's consistent opportunities to meet different people across different industries, but with also in ag and different jobs across the agriculture industry. There's good chances for advancement within my company and promotions, things like that I'm constantly always looking at within John Deere. The other nice thing about this role is that, my skills and experience acquired in my current role would set me up great for a different opportunity even outside of John Deere. So I'm a big advocate of never saying no to an opportunity, always hearing out that opportunity to see if it's a right fit for you or for something that you want to do. And being really conscious of never burning a bridge, because you never know who you're going to loop back on or who's going to be your manager next. Like I say, agriculture industry is very small. So, really trying to keep that network strong and marketing yourself is something that, I've really tried to focus on with this position. Work-life balance is definitely not a tough aspect of this role, but I feel like it's different in every industry you look at. I try to keep the mindset of when it's go time, it's time to go. So everybody has, I would say, surges of workload in their industries. For me, overtime hours and travel are essential to the success of this business. So like I said, through the combine season, 20-hour workday is very normal, chasing the same hours that farmers are putting out in fields. Lots of miles, lots of driving. The nice thing about this position is it's cyclical. It gives me the opportunity to gain some of those hours back in the off season. So right now in the wintertime, I'm more of an office-based position. I have an opportunity to do the things that I love, spend time with my family, go snowmobiling in the mountains, whatever your opportunities are. I get an opportunity to take some of those overtime hours invested and recoup those in more of my off season. So the nice thing about this position is, to say, it is remote, it's work from home, it's not micromanaged, so I do have the opportunity, as long as I'm getting my work done, to recoup some of those hours invested. I think with that kind of wraps things up, Kevin. Any questions or anything like that moving forward?
Yeah, I do. I'm always jotting down notes as these presentations take place, and I've got a few here. Really good job, Jonathan. I think it gives really good insight to what you do for sure. Yeah, a couple of these maybe are comments, some are questions.
Mm-hmm.
You said you're really busy during the combine season. So in your role of the combine season, are you working directly with farmers more at that time, like showing them, like, troubleshooting some of the how these machines work, or how does that work? Or are you more with dealerships?
Well, it's kind of a staggered approach, Kevin. So in the off season, like I say, we're really focused on creating the marketing materials and the training materials that we'll use to support our dealers in season. My role is kind of different, where I'm not so much customer facing. I'm kind of a bridge in between our factory and our John Deere dealerships across Canada. So that's kind of where I fall. So my busy season primarily would be, end of June, start of July, where we do trade shows and events leading up to the busy season and harvest. And then very much so, it's just on the road every day, out in the field with customers, but alongside our dealerships, supporting our combines in field.
Dealerships personnel are there with you a lot of the time then.
Yes, correct, Kevin. Yeah, I'll be with somebody from a dealership every time. I'm never with a customer own. It's always with a dealership.
Okay, that makes sense. So this global agriculture experience, that really kind of interested me. Like you were down, you were showing the little video. You were in Oklahoma, you were in Brazil. Like you grew up in rural Saskatchewan, and we farm how we farm, right? It's probably
Yeah.
you went from Rosetown area down to Regina area over to over to Alberta, wherever. It's similar probably. But what's any big noticeable differences in how they do things, or is it or
Oh,
how do you adapt to that?
yeah, that's honestly been my favorite part about this role, Kevin, is like you say, I grew up on a grain farm, 20 minutes just west of Rosetown. So understanding how we farm and how agriculture is in West Central Saskatchewan, covering Western Canada, I see the differences of 2 hours. So agriculture in Rosetown is completely different than agriculture, say, in Prince Albert, right? But then when you start to look globally for that, it gets even more vast. So Northern Alberta compared to Moline, Illinois, compared to my time spent in Brazil, it's completely in Brazil, they grow 2 crops a year. One of the main crops they grow down there is cotton. So that's something I'd never seen before. And cotton harvesters and the agronomy and the practices that they have down there, size and scale. Like you think of Canada where we're so open, there's million-acre farms in Brazil that are double cropping. Like that's absolutely unfathomable to what we have here in Western Canada. So I'd say that's something that I've loved so much about this role, Kevin, is just getting to experience and see that firsthand, all across the US, from Texas up to the Dakotas into Saskatchewan and where we are now.
So again, just this is more of a comment, maybe too. I really like what you said about maybe to summarize it a bit there, like your networking and people skills and educational training combined is what's kind of this opportunity. And the fact that you and I didn't know this, that you basically you said got John Deere to hire you during a hiring freeze. Like that's crazy stuff. But that kind of goes to show, like, I mean, the person's got to take charge and take self direction and go, like, I'm going to be persistent here, like, and that's awesome. Good for you to do that.
I think what's cool, Kevin, is I think a big thing that I've learned from when I think back to my time spent in grade 12 to where I'm at now is no matter what industry you go into or no matter what job you do, you're always selling. Selling is a part of day-to-day business always. Now, different ways. I think of you have to sell yourself. You sell your strengths, you sell your passions, things like that to really take it to the next level. But yes, for sure, if I didn't establish those connections and really try and sell myself, I don't think I would have the opportunity of the job that I'm in right now for sure. So
that's good, and I think that's something I've often used a term I use with my own children. I think I use with lots of students too. Is like make yourself valuable.
Yeah.
If you can prove you're valuable to any organization, you're probably going to be in a good spot. Self-learning. Can you just elaborate on how does that work, or how does that look? What's the process look like for the self-learning part?
I think a big thing about self-learning is being patient and is knowing that you're not always going to have the answers right away. You might actually have to endure some time where a problem goes unresolved or gets continued on for longer than even what you'd want. But, a big thing that I see in this role is, typically when a dealer comes to me with an issue, it's an issue that we don't actually have a solution for. And it's something that I have to work with our engineering departments to figure out how do we solve this issue for what this customer is experiencing. So what I mean by self-learning on that is you can't go to somebody to have them provide you with an answer. So you actually have to problem solve, commit to the situation, learn what the customer's outcomes are, what my outcomes are as John Deere, find common ground, and then work towards that solution is kind of what I mean by that self-learning.
Oh, okay, because I was wondering if that's what you meant by learning about the new products, or do you do that right down in Illinois?
Yes, correct. Honestly, that would be another aspect of self-learning too, Kevin, is when we grab on a new product, it's a product that nobody has seen before. So there's not really a product expert in that field on, say, a new piece of technology or a new product. So self-learning on teaching myself of everything about that new product, and then trying to find a way to convey that value to customers. So understanding the customers that would be an end user of this product and finding strengths that they could fit into their operation to, justify making that purchase.
And I suppose that's some of the marketing stuff that you guys work on, is how to teach the
Absolutely.
dealers and customers how to use it and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Absolutely, Kevin. Yeah.
Lots of facets to it. That's awesome, Jonathan. It's very interesting. I'm kind of like I've said many times before when I interview former students and what they do, you kind of go, that sounds really cool. Job sounds really cool. It really does, and I really appreciate it. So, it's all the questions I had. I thank you for doing this. It's been awesome, and I think a lot of students are going to get some benefit out of seeing this. So, thanks a lot.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, Kevin. I really appreciate it.